Hello, my name is Rachel, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to share with you 10 minimalist tips to help you de-stress. So there's many reasons why minimalism is becoming a huge lifestyle choice. It's not only good for your wallet, it's also really good for your mindset and how you feel about things. Whilst minimalism can take a while to achieve, the process of minimalism and becoming minimalist is an ongoing process. And as you develop that process and you explore that kind of option and lifestyle choice, you start to notice a difference in how you feel around your home and around your general kind of mental health. With minimalism, there's no one size fits all, there's no one rule that you should always follow. It's about creating a home and a lifestyle that suits you, that works for you. So it's about reducing the number of items that you have in your home and the amount that you bring into your home on a general basis. And it's about finding the things that you love and getting rid of the things that you don't enjoy and that you don't love. I came into minimalism quite randomly. It was more about me decluttering my home and following kind of trends on that I felt the clutter was influencing my well-being, my mental health. So as I started to declutter and become naturally more minimalistic, I realised the benefits that were happening to my well-being. So as I cleared out things that I no longer enjoyed, I just noticed that I felt happier and more calm around my home. And that's had a real impact on how I interact with people, how I feel at home. I used to feel quite anxious or stressed about being home too much. I always wanted to be out, but I think that's because I didn't enjoy my environment. And now that I've made these changes around me and I feel calm and stress-free in my home, I have that kind of calm home base that I feel really comfortable in. If you are somebody that feels quite overwhelmed or stressed or have a lot of anxiety, then minimalism might be the thing for you. So here I've got 10 tips that will help you to de-stress in your environment. So the first thing you need to do is edit. So if you haven't watched the home edit or tidying up with Marie Kondo, then reducing the amount of items in your home is your first starting point. You need to go through all the items that you have, work out what you enjoy, what you love, and then kind of think about the things that you aren't using or don't love and whether or not you really need those things in your environment. And when you get rid of the things that you don't enjoy, it makes it much easier to see all the things that you do love and do enjoy. You get this natural feeling of happiness when you look around your home. As you declutter, you'll find that you free up a lot of space, so that when you're visually looking around, there's lots of emptiness and space around that will actually look and feel calmer. So quite often if you have a lot of visual clutter in your environment, then that can be a kind of underlying stress trigger. So it's about reducing those items that you can see. My second tip is to make sure that everything has a home. This is something that I've mentioned before in previous videos. It's about making sure that everything has a suitable place to be put back to, so that when you finish with an item you will be more likely to put it away because it's easy to find its home, or you know exactly where it belongs, and it's less likely to accumulate on surfaces and tables and things like that because you're more likely to put it straight away. And if everybody knows where that home is, then everybody will be able to work together to be able to put things back in the right place. Once you have reduced the amount of items in your home and you have found everything at home, it's then important to reduce the amount of furniture you own. This will be kind of a natural progression as you get rid of things. It's natural that obviously when you get rid of your items you have less need for storage for the items you no longer have. So get rid of the extra furniture that you no longer need as part of that process. And as you get rid of the furniture, you'll find that you have less surface areas that you could then be likely to accumulate clutter on because they're no longer there, and it's easier to clean because you have less surfaces as well. So there's lots of benefits to reducing the amount of furniture in your home. Next up is you need to create an efficient filing system for paperwork, and there's no one set filing system that works. It's about finding a system that works for you and making sure that you have got that in place. So for me personally, I only have a few older stuff in box files and I keep them in a separate cupboard, and my main bills, I have one drawer that's underneath my TV and I put any bills kind of in the drawer on the top, and important documents are in there as well. So I have one drawer, and then the plan is that every couple of months or once a year I will go through that drawer and get rid of old bills that are no longer relevant, like old council tax bills, old water bills, and then I get rid of those. Most of them tend to be online anyway, so I don't have an awful lot of paper copies that come through the post anymore, but it's just about making sure that there's one designated system. So for me, it's just having a drawer and they just pile on top, and that's fine for me. That's all I need it to do. And what's helpful then is when I'm looking for an important document, I only have that drawer and the box file to go to look for them, so I know exactly where it's going to be, and that's where I will place any bits of paperwork, so they are automatically filed. They don't have time to hang around in the wrong space because they have homes. Now that you have decluttered and you have reduced the amount of items in your home and you've reduced the amount of furniture in your home, it's then about thinking carefully about the products you bring in. So next up is to shop quality over quantity. It's about being considerate about your purchases and making sure you buy something that is going to last and you're going to use well. So if you are purchasing a piece of furniture, make sure it's a good quality piece that you are going to love and enjoy and you're going to get use out of, rather than buying something that is likely to break or get damaged really easily. This doesn't necessarily refer to just furniture, this can be referring to clothing as well, because quite often if you buy some slightly higher quality clothing, they are more likely to last and keep well from multiple use. So it's being considerate about those purchases, and also making sure that you only let quality items into your home that are going to work well for you, as well as serve a purpose. So only buy things that you actually need. My next tip is to set clear priorities. This does not necessarily mean just about the things in your home. This is about being considerate about what you do with your time as well as your money. It's an opportunity to be intentional with your time, who you spend time with and what you do in those times. Prioritise what's important to you. Is it people over things? If your priority is people, then invest your time and your money in quality memories and experiences rather than items in your home that is not necessarily going to give you that same fulfillment. Next up, you need to create some organisation strategies that work well for you. This is regarding to work environments. So this is making sure you have folders that store things systematically, like within your computer, or having clear systems within your working environment. So everything has its place and it works best for your mental organisation so that you can find things really easily. My next tip is to reduce visual clutter. So this is what I mean by the furniture and surfaces. So when you look around the room, what are all the items that you can see immediately and how does it make you feel? So scan the room. Do you find that you have lots of piles of books on the side? Do you have lots of clutter or paperwork that's mounting on tables? Look at where that visual clutter is and see what you can get rid of. Or is that a case of going back to the other point of finding things at home? When you find things at home, there's going to be less visual clutter. Is there more ways that you can get things that are in closed units that have doors on them so that you're less likely to see them? Because it's not necessarily about completely reducing the things that you have there, it's about finding things at home that maybe is more appealing so that you can't see it on a regular basis. Is it something that you want to see every time you walk into a room? So think about that visual clutter and how you can reduce it to change that feeling. So what you want when you look in a room is that feeling of calm as you scan around. Is having less things will naturally create a calmer feel, because visual clutter can be really quite distracting and can cause some underlying stresses that you might not be aware of. So it's important that your view is simple and to your liking. And that's key there. It's about what you want to see. My next tip is to cut useless expenses. So this is where I'm talking about subscriptions and unnecessary purchases that you are buying that you do not need to do. When you buy lots of little things that you're not really kind of being considerate about, you'll find that you are having financial stresses that you perhaps could avoid. So if you can find ways of reducing some of your expenses, this will help reduce any of your financial stress that you may occur. And linking with this is making sure that you're being mindful of your purchases. Make sure it's something that you really need, that you've considered it beforehand. And my final tip is to let things go. This has a kind of two-pronged meaning here. So this is about physically letting go of things by taking away that attachment that you might have towards its monetary value. So that is one of the key reasons why people struggle to let go, is because they have this financial attachment to that item that they've bought, and they think that it's taking away that financial value by getting rid of the product. But actually all you're doing is creating an unnecessary attachment to an item that you don't enjoy and you don't use or you don't love. So getting rid of that attachment and letting go of the items that you no longer need is going to help you to feel better about the things in your home. And mentally, it's about letting go of judgments, worries that you might have, or interactions or disagreements that you have with people. Try not to let them whirl around in your head. Try and think about the item for a period of time and then let it go. Draw a line in the sand and know that you can move on from something. It's quite damaging to keep things like grudges or disagreements going through your head. So if you can find a way of kind of drawing a line and letting them go, you'll find that you are much calmer and more likely to not worry about some of the little things. That is quite a process to do, but if you are willing to try, it does work. So all of these 10 tips refer to minimalism and how that has helped me to feel less stressed and calmer in my home, and hopefully they will help you to feel calmer and more stress-free in your environment. But remember, it's about finding what works best for you. So you can adapt any of those tips to work in a way that empowers you to get the most out of it. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe below if you want to see more videos on minimalism, decluttering and my no spend year. And I shall see you soon. Take care. Bye.